produced a model of the brain based on a hierarchy of functions with a chain of command centers. At the turn of this century, the invention of the telephone engendered a model that put the emphasis on communications and the relation between the neurons. More recently, the computer revolution has given birth to the image of the brain as a computer, with the accent on its powers of programming and perception.
Man was Noah. So God appeared to Noah, and he let him hear his voice. And the Lord said,
Behold, I will cause it to rain upon the earth 40 days and 40 nights. I will bring a flood the earth to destroy all flesh, and everything that is in the earth shall die.
And when Noah had heard God's voice, he was grateful, and he set to work right away to build the ark. That symbol, the token of God's everlasting faith in man, is the rainbow.
Incredible profusion of specialized cells known as neurons. It is estimated that the human brain contains up to 12 billion neurons. The neurons' function is to transmit information, and their anatomical structure is adapted to this purpose. Each neuron is comprised of a cellular body and extensions. The short extensions are called dendrites. The long extensions, axons. There's the axons that connect the nerve cells to one another, forming a complex communication system. Neural mass is not completely solid. Cinemorphology is a film technique that allows us to observe successive layers of the brain from top to bottom, exposing its internal cavities. These are called ventricles and are filled with cerebrospinal fluid. The history of our brain begins with the emergence of the first vertebrates about 600 million years ago. It was then that the central nervous system developed within the bony tube of the spinal column, which extends from the neck to the coccyx. The brain itself, protected by its cranial casing, gradually took up its position at the top of the spine. About 225 million years ago, primeval reptiles made their appearance. Their cerebral makeup governed their most vital functions: the cardiovascular system, coordination of the reflexes and voluntary movements, the cycle of waking and sleeping, satisfaction of hunger and thirst, and the regulation of the reproductive system.
This weekend, and every weekend, you can telephone coast to coast for as little as 70 cents. It all began in Boston, 1876, with Alexander Graham Bell. The first telephone, the first switchboards, the first operators. Soon telephone lines to New York, to Chicago, and westward. And from San Francisco east. Lines from east and west meet in Utah. The year, 1915. The minimum rate on a call from New York to San Francisco in 1915, $20.70. Years pass. Phone service expands, and long-distance rates drop dramatically. The minimum rate for a coast-to-coast call by 1920 was $8.25. 1927, $5.50. 1940, $3. By 1963, $1 plus tax. Now, in 1970, the minimum is 70 cents plus tax, coast to coast, on calls you dial yourself on weekends. 70 cents for a 3-minute call from 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. Saturday and 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Sunday. In 1915, $20.70. In 1970, 70 cents plus tax. They said it couldn't be done. But it was.